All right, today we're going to unpack a really revealing story from the Gospels, the one about the 10 lepers. It's this powerful look at healing, faith, and maybe most importantly, what happens after the miracle.
So let's just start with this question because it's kind of the key to the whole thing. It really gets to the heart of this story from the Gospel of Luke. It makes you look past the big, flashy miracle and ask, wait, what's really going on here? What's the real transformation? Okay, so the story kicks off on the road to Jerusalem. And you got to remember, this is a significant journey for Jesus. He's heading toward his final days. And it's right here that he runs into a group of guys in a really, really bad spot, a situation that seems totally hopeless. Yeah, 10 of them, not just one guy, but a whole group. And they're all suffering from the devastating effects of leprosy. Because of the law, because of the culture, they couldn't even get close to anyone. They had to shout from way off, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us!" And to really get how desperate they were, you have to understand. Leprosy back then, it wasn't just a skin disease. It was so much more. It meant you were totally cut off from society. Legally, you were an outcast. Religiously, you were considered unclean. Socially, nobody could touch you. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was like you were already dead.
So they cry out for mercy, and Jesus hears them. But what he does next, it's probably not what they were expecting. You know, there's no big, dramatic, on-the-spot healing. Instead, he gives them an instruction, a command that's actually a huge test of their faith.
He just tells them, go, show yourselves to the priests. Now you might think, why that? Well, according to the law back then, that's what you had to do after you were already healed. So think about it. He's telling them to act like the miracle has already happened. They have to start walking in faith before they see a single thing change. And sure enough, it's on that walk, that journey of just obeying, that they're all cleansed.
And right here, this is the pivot point of the whole story. It stops being about a group healing and turns into this incredibly deep, personal lesson about what real faith looks like and how we respond when we get something good.
I mean, all 10 of them were healed. Can you imagine the pure joy, the relief? They can finally go home to their families, go back to their jobs. They get their entire lives back. But only one of them. One guy sees he's cured, stops in his tracks, turns right around, and goes back to find Jesus just to say thank you.
And get this is the real kicker. The one who came back, he wasn't just one of the guys. He was a Samaritan. And in that culture, Jews and Samaritans, well, they did not get along. There was this deep historical divide. So the one person who you'd think of as the ultimate outsider, he's the only one who comes back to give thanks. So Jesus really zooms in on this difference, right? Between the 9 who just kept going and the one who came back. And he makes it clear that 2 totally different things just happened.
He looks at the Samaritan, and you can almost hear the sadness in his voice when he asks, "Weren't all 10 healed? Where are the other 9? And then he turns to the man in front of him and says these incredible words, "Rise and go. Your faith has made you well."
Now, this is so important. The Greek word that's used for made well is sozo. And once you understand this word, the whole story just clicks into place. See, sozo doesn't just mean getting your body healed. It means to be saved, to be rescued, to be made completely whole, body, soul, everything. So that's the 2 different outcomes, right there. The 9, they got an amazing gift, a physical cure, absolutely life-changing. But the one guy who came back, he got something so much bigger. He didn't just get his skin cleared up, he got sozo. He got salvation, a total, permanent transformation.
Okay, so what's the big takeaway here? What does this all tell us about real faith and, how we're supposed to react to the good things that happen to us?
What's really fascinating is that this isn't the only time we see this pattern. If you look back in the Old Testament, there's a story about a guy named Naaman, the Syrian. And guess what? He's an outsider, a foreigner, who gets healed of leprosy and he comes back with overwhelming gratitude. It's the same pattern. It kind of suggests that maybe the people who feel like they deserve the least are the ones who end up being the most thankful.
So, what are we supposed to learn from all this? Well, a few things. First, it's totally possible to get a huge blessing but miss out on the real transformation. Second, gratitude, it's way more than just being polite. The story presents it as the actual proof of real saving faith. True faith doesn't just grab the gift and take off. It turns back to the one who gave it.
And that leaves us with a pretty challenging thought, doesn't it? The 9 got exactly what they asked for. But the one who came back full of gratitude, he got what he truly needed. And it just makes you ask yourself, right? When good things happen in our own lives, do we just take it and move on? Or do we stop and return to the source?